back then, you had to basically write separate reviews for every platform. That burned me out on reviews so hard that I didn't want to do it again. And I politely was like, can I not review games anymore? And they're like, we're gonna keep asking you. And I was like, but can I keep saying no? And they're like, sure. Welcome to Ask Us Anything. IGN and Yahoo Mail have teamed up to answer your burning questions.
For the past couple weeks, you've reached out to us at askign@yahoo.com, asking about entertainment, gaming, tech, and of course, IGN itself. And this week, we are giving you all of our dirty secrets about IGN.
What? We work there. We can't do that. We're gonna get in trouble.
We're tearing it down from the inside.
Let's do it. Let's spill the beans, as they say.
I'm a huge fan of Next Gen Console Watch, Podcast Beyond, hey, what's up, Game Scoop, and all of the other daily/weekly shows. What advice can you give to someone that is interested in being part of the IGN family? Start making stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
No, we get people who are like, how do you write about games? It's like, well, you just do it. And then when, if you see a job listing, there's an IGN jobs page, keep an eye on that. Apply for stuff, and then when they say, what's your background? What have you done? You say, here's stuff I've written, here's videos I've made, here's where I stream.
We get this all the time when we put up job listings, which you should always check like our job listings, because something might open and apply, maybe you'll get in. But people will say like, oh man, will you hire me? I love video games, I'm over here. We know you love video games. That's how you got here to begin with. What more can you offer? What more can you do? How do you get news and videos so quick? Does it ever get stressful getting news out? Yes. We have a bunch of dedicated sort of verticals at IGN, and some people run sort of the features beat and some people run the news beat, and then some people kind of are in an intersection of both of those things. The thing about IGN is that every single day, most of us wake up with a plan of what we want to do that day, what we need to do that day. And then breaking news invariably happens and throws that plan into the air. And a lot of the stuff that Max and I do is kind of like quick pivot, reactionary stuff based on news. We're in meetings every single morning, picking out the stories for the Entertainment Fix, the Daily Fix, which is our sort of premier entertainment and video game news stories. And then like by the time those videos are up, there's a whole bunch of news that will have broken that our news team will be writing out as articles. What does IGN stand for?
Imagine
Truth, Justice, and
Games Network.
Oh, Imagine Games Network, yes.
Yeah, so back in the day, what was it, like N64.com or something?
Yeah.
There were a bunch of different sort of, not unrelated, but different, more specialized game sites. This is like 1996.
Yeah.
And then there was the Imagine Games Network, which is like a web ring, or like a, kind of collected all these together. My very first email address, they had that thing where they're like, what do you want to get spam about? Like, check your boxes. Which of these interest, like sports or gaming, whatever. And I was like, I like video games. And it was like the Imagine Games Network newsletter. And so like I was in like this, 7th grade computer lab, like getting IGN updates.
What is your personal favorite YouTube series IGN has done over the years? I mean, we did a show called Up at Noon for a very long time, which was very fun and very silly.
I don't think that show was very good.
I didn't say it was good. I said it was a favorite.
What do we got? What's
I mean,
good?
you and I had like two shows that we were very personal about. I did Fast Travel, which was like a video game kind of geeky travel show, and you did Kit Bash Creatures, which is like a model making show.
Yeah,
those are really cool.
Those were fun. Kit Bash Creatures, Fast Travel. Check both of those out. I feel like those both are very much like shows. Like they were very clearly their own thing. They existed. It wasn't just sort of like people reacting to news about a thing. Inevitably, the things that we feel most passionately about don't perform anywhere near as the things that we wish that they would.
Yeah.
For the longest time, it was like every week we'd get like the highest performing video on IGN, and it was the first 10 minutes of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and we're like, that Spider-Man did it again. How do we one-up Spider-Man? How do you review something if the team has conflicting feelings about the game/movie? The person reviewing it reviews it.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. If it really comes down to it, I remember there was a policy for a while that if anybody wanted to give like a 10 out of 10, they had to like have this like gathering of this like secret cabal, just all these shadowy figures that put on robes and light candles, and they'd sit around the room and be like, all right, why is it a 10?
But no, it was you basically had to go and pitch it in front of the room and be like, hey, like this is, I really want to, because we don't want to just give that score out like it's nothing, right? We're all generally kind of in tune with each other's thoughts on those kind of things, because obviously you're going to have people that completely like or dislike things for different reasons than the reviewer does. But like generally you don't get to a spot where you're reviewing games for IGN without having like some sensibilities about what makes something good or bad, right?
Somebody just asked if we wanted to see pictures of their puppies, which It's not really the kind of question we were looking for, but the answer is...
It's yes.
Yeah, look at these dogs.
Yeah, we just went to the Yahoo Mail app's attachment view, and there's just a whole bunch of dogs.
Dogs, that's great.
You can just go right to that attachments view and see all of your attachments without having to dig through all your emails to find that one picture of a dog you want, or, you know, that important work document.
This is going to save so much time.
Brian, I have some great news. Two dangerous criminals are finally behind bars.
That's right.
The Snorlaxes,
The
they got
Snorlaxes
them.
have been caught.
They got
not
'em.
really the dog. I guess it's kind of a dog. How many days beforehand does IGN get games or movies for review?
Completely varies.
All over the place. Yeah. So this is weird, but this is a measuring stick that works across both the entertainment or the video games and movie side. For example, God of War Ragnarok, I think 2 or 3 weeks early, right? And to me, that shows significant confidence from Sony that they're shipping a product that they stand behind, that they're proud of. They also want to give people ample time to finish the game, come up with their thoughts, create a proper coverage plan. There are movies that we don't get invited to screenings to, and no press does. They don't have pre-release screenings. And generally, when a movie doesn't get a pre-release screening for press or for fans or for anyone, and just launches day and day in a theater, historically it's pretty bad. Statistically speaking, it is a good chance that it's not great. Games are weird because games get patched. They're a moving target. The version of a game that we play a week early might be different than the one you play when it comes out. When Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out, we gave that game a pretty low score because it had a lot of nefarious microtransaction stuff in there that they pulled out by the time you all played it on day one, but by then the story had already been told.
When Fortnite came out, it was like a tower defense game.
Yeah.
And then 4 months later, they were like, we added a battle royale. And then 5 years later, it's still one of the biggest games of all time, consistently. But it's also unrecognizable compared to what it was at launch.
Yeah. No, fun story about Fortnite is like the developers from Epic came through our studio a couple years ago, and I did like a preview for that game, and it was just like this like kind of dorky building game.
Yeah, it's Fortnite Save the World.
Yeah,
Now it's sort of this thing you get for free buried in your season pass.
You would basically have to build like this crappy shack, and like monsters would come and beat it up, and
that was it.
I was like,
the game.
well, good luck with this, fellas.
Yeah.
Let's see how this turns out. And it's the biggest moneymaker in the world.
Yeah. What made you want to work in journalism, and what was your first review at IGN?
Ooh. Have you ever reviewed anything for
I've
IGN?
actually never reviewed anything for IGN. I'll do that here.
I don't know what my first one was. I know my last one was Rayman Legends. And back then, you had to basically write separate reviews for every platform. That burned me out on reviews so hard that I didn't want to do it again. And I politely was like, can I not review games anymore? And they're like, we're going to keep asking you. And I was like, but can I keep saying no? And they're like, sure. Your dog's been asleep on this couch for so long that
Is he alive?
and he's low. So I think people might think we're sitting on like a bearskin rug.
Yeah, no, there's a dog here.
Yeah, it's a dog.
There's a little dog. Look at this little dog. This is Peppers.
What was the most entertaining interview you've done?
We got to talk to Guillermo del Toro about snakes. We talked to a lot of people about animals. Those are the best ones.
So the Del Toro one was interesting because like we did
wasn't even on camera. That
We
was
did a fun interview with him on stage at Comic-Con, but we hung out with him in our green room backstage for like 20 minutes before that. He just got there early and he was just sitting in a folding chair, and we just kind of stood around him and we're like, hey man, nice to meet you, love your movies. And we just talked for 20 minutes with him about how we had recently gone to Florida for a shoot where we went swimming with live alligators, which is a real thing that we've done. And we talked to him about it, and he just had all these like wonderful quotes. He's like, "The alligator is a terrible beast." It was just really good. It was, and he's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love his work so much. Thanks for watching, and thank you to everyone who sent in questions to askign@yahoo.com.
If you have more questions like why did you answer that last question this way, you can send it to that same address. I think we did a pretty good job though. Who did the best job? Let us know in the emails. Don't use the comments today. We're using email this week.
It was the dog. The dog did the best job.
Good dog.
It was a good dog.